mic'd up with Mikie Mahtook. Got the boys in. I got Lloyd. We got Mitch. We got Jackie Boyd.
He tried to jump up and he might have knocked it in.
Good timing. Let's go. What a start to the Monday. I mean, I'm from Lafayette. My boys will come in and say,
oh, God. So me and Joe on the ground, I got Joe in the headlock. And he's sitting there, he's punching me in the stomach, like, steady punching me.
Here, is everyone sitting around, who here thinks Chico can practice today after having 5 full beers? And he goes, Chad Jones, right? Chad's doing the team 6 minutes. For 7 minutes, right? Chad's like, no, man, I don't think Chico can practice today. And I was like, I look back, I'm like, Jesus Christ. I saw you there. You were more fucked up than me.
On the Spirit plane had some issues, I think. She was sleep farting.
You heard her or you just thought it was her?
I sat right next to her and I smelled it.
Whoa. What was that?
Time for the show.
You had a circus or something?
I'm late. Like, I don't even know what I'd be doing.
Now, when you do go to spring training, are you going to bring your chinchilla and your turtle? My dad tell you about it?
The SEC is, God, they hate fat people. I mean, I get crushed for that. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man.
Hey, just the South, bro. You got a bunch of food down here. Like, they should
Players. Look at Lloyd.
You know what, Lloyd?
You're looking for a recruiting coordinator, coach. I'm here.
He's like, I'll piss my pants right now.
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. He goes, I'll piss my pants right now.
Hello. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. Today is Monday, March 4th. We got a big show. We got a big show for you today. We have Coach Jay Johnson right on the on-deck circle. I'm going to run through these headlines really quick. Coming off of a 4-0 road trip in Houston. Houston was very good to the boys and to Coach Jay Johnson, including 3 games in the Houston Astros Classic, or Houston Astros Foundation Classic. I think that's the name of the tournament. They go Texas.
The Juice Box Classic.
What's that?
The Juice Box Classic.
The Juice Box Classic.
It was worth the squeeze.
Yeah, exactly. Look at you.
Yeah.
Juice was worth the squeeze, huh? No doubt. They beat Texas Friday, UL on Saturday, Texas State on Sunday. Like I said, 4-game road trip in Houston. They sweep the series, or sweep the week, and come back home against a home series against Xavier before SEC play starts the following weekend. You know what? We're not even going to get to the rest of the headlines. We're just going to go straight to him.
Don't leave this man waiting.
No, I can't leave him waiting. Busy guy. 4-0 weekend. Proud to announce national champion winning coach of the LSU Fighting Tigers, Coach Jay Johnson. Coach, I appreciate you coming on.
What's up, guys? How you doing tonight?
Doing great. How are you doing?
Good, good.
Coach, you go 4-0 this weekend. This is the second or third straight weekend where you are playing a series against multiple teams, right? Which is kind of a unique situation that doesn't usually happen. I know we had spoke about this a couple weeks ago. Was this by design? You said yes. After getting through these first three series, what have you learned about your team? And has it been something that has pleasantly surprised you, or something that you kind of expected to happen?
Yeah, I think our players have done a good job. I think it's been a unique schedule, as you talked about, where you're playing multiple teams throughout a week. Taxing, on the coaching staff relative to scouting reports, all that. But I think it's a good exercise because that's how it goes in the NCAA tournament. As far as our team, I think we came out of this weekend with a lot better understanding of our pathway to winning baseball, and that if they commit to it and commit to it pitch to pitch, inning to inning, game to game, there's definitely a roadmap for this team to be successful. And my hope is that we draw a lot of confidence from the week, and that's important because as we move forward in the schedule, obviously it's going to be a lot of great challenges in front of us and really exciting. But good job by our team this week in Houston.
Coach, it was a challenging weekend. Obviously, you knew Texas was undefeated. I mean, not undefeated. They're ranked 15th in the country. You play UL, who obviously UL always wants to beat LSU. And Texas State had a winning record going in. They were the team that can score some runs, and they were going to pose a challenge. You switched up the rotation this weekend. Luke Holman has been fantastic the first two outings, and then he comes in on Friday and probably puts out his best outing maybe of his career Friday night against Texas. You are facing their ace. What have you seen from Luke as the beginning of the season throughout the first three starts of the season?
Yeah, Luke's just a great pitcher. He has a number of ways that he can beat you, and if you plan or take away one thing, he can beat you another way, and that's certainly a good quality to have. And he throws strikes with all his pitches. He commands his fastball in and out, up and down. Breaking ball is good. I can land it for a strike in any count. I thought all our pitchers did a good job of that this weekend. Even when we were behind in the count, they could throw any pitch they wanted to for strikes, and made them very difficult to deal with. And I thought Luke set the good tone that all our pitchers did this weekend, which is when we got ahead, we finished people off, and he certainly had a good performance on Friday.
Coach, we've mentioned the way you've gone about the schedule so far, the 3 weeks in a row, 4 games. You've done a masterful job of mixing and putting different lineups in there and getting guys in different situations. But we all know with that comes the opportunity either of success and or failure. With what the way that this thing has gone so far, how do you think the guys have taken to the in and out, up and down, and how they move and how they go about their work, and how have they been able to implement that into the game and kind of move straight forward all at the same time?
Yeah, I think they worked very well moving into the season. I've said this before. We had a great preseason practice session. And then I think that we did a good job, the first couple of weeks of winning some games while we weren't quite right yet. And that's just, you guys know, that's just baseball. Yeah. It's just not going to be perfect. I think we were exposed a little bit and went back to the drawing board, collectively. This is not just an individual player thing, but collectively, offensively, and the results of that have been pretty good, since that we've done that. I think I have no feel in the best way possible of, how I'm using the parts in a negative fashion. I think everybody's ready to play every game. I think they've done a great job supporting each other. I think some of our players, it actually helps them to rest on a particular day. Yeah. And I think there's a couple guys we've gotten better performances, after maybe a day that they weren't starting. And, we have some very good versatility. We set the lineup yesterday specifically for a reason and, paid off with 19 hits. And those guys did a good job. And, we've had guys hit in the 4-hole one day and not play the next day. Guys hit the 3-hole one day, not play the next day. Guys hit 9th, hit 3rd. So they're doing a good job. And I haven't gotten any negative feedback. The only thing that I wish is there's a few more guys I'd like to get more at bats for and get on the field, but it's tough when there's only 9 spots in the order.
Coach, before we run to the jump to the offense, because there's a lot I want to talk about, because there's a lot of guys that have done some things and made some adjustments from the year before. I want to hit on Gavin Guidry just for a second, because the way you utilize him is very similar to the way big league teams use their best reliever, right? And you don't necessarily use him in the closing role all the time. You use him as a, hey, get me out of trouble guy, right? Whether it's the 4th inning, 7th inning, 9th inning, whatever it is. He did that again this weekend. You're starting to grin. Can you speak a little bit about Gavin Guidry and what he means to this pitching or to this pitching staff?
Yeah, no, I just was reminded of something yesterday that happened when I brought him in the game. I'll go back to Saturday. So we brought him in, I believe it was the 6th inning, and they hit the 3-run homer.
Yep.
Previously, and kind of, even though we were ahead 4-0, it felt like they got the momentum, and he snatched it right back. Like, he punched out like 3 of the next 4 guys and put it right back in our dugout. And he's done that so often that, you know, he's such a valuable pitcher, and he's at his best on game day. And you know, some days he'll close. He closed last Saturday. Some days we'll put him in, you know, when we need him the most, and that just happened to be at that time on Saturday night. And then on yesterday, I think I had the formula down where we had to win by 5 runs to win the tournament. And after the 2-out single, it was now at 5 runs, and the runner on second base would have scored. They would have won the tournament. So I was trying to get the game over with more than anything else. And I said, hey, you see that dude out there at second base? I go, if he scores, Vanderbilt wins the tournament. If he stays there, we win the tournament. And he goes, well, let's go pick up our trophy then.
I'm sure he said it just that.
I love that.
Like that.
You need that guy. You need that guy on the mound with that mentality, no doubt. I love that.
Hey, I'm loving that you got a guy like that breeds the confidence that he should be able to put into the rest of the roster. But for you yourself and obviously the coaching staff, it's one thing to have a bunch of guys that I kind of have some confidence in how they go about their work, and it's another totally different thing when the confidence matches the stuff and the bevy of stuff that you have throughout this entire roster. What kind of comfort and confidence does that bring to you when it comes to, hey, how am I going to go about filling out these innings to get outs right now when you can look at a bullpen full of guys like you have right now?
Yeah, and it's a great point. And that was kind of one of our steps as a team this week. I mean, we do a ton of physical work. We do a ton of mental training. We try to put them in the right frame of mind. And this week it was just about, hey, like, this is just about getting it done. Like, I'm going to out-compete you in this moment. Like, let's get there, because that's where your confidence, you know, truly shows. And I thought our pitching staff, our whole team did, but I thought our pitching staff in particular this weekend really shined, you know, with that mindset. You know, obviously mentioned Luke earlier, Gage, Thatcher, great starting pitching throughout Kate Anderson on Wednesday. So great starting pitching all week. And then our bullpen has dominated this year of getting the first guy out when they come in. And you can't do that unless you're totally prepared and ready to pitch and ready to compete and ready to win. And sometimes as competitors, you guys know that it's not even necessarily about an approach or plan. It's like, no, I'm going to get this done right now, period. You know, with my focus and my intent. And I think our team did a good job of that this weekend.
Coach, switching gears to the offense, there's a couple guys that are coming into this year that you really had to count on, right? Like, you lose a lot of guys from the offense last year that banged some balls out of the ballpark. This weekend, obviously, y'all scored a ton of runs. Y'all got a bunch of hits, but y'all did it without – y'all hit some homers, but it wasn't like you're hitting 4 or 5 home runs a game and you're scoring a bunch of runs. You were stringing together some hits. You knew going into the season y'all were going to score runs a little bit differently. How would you grade the offensive performance this week based off of, you know, hey, we're going to string together hits, we're going to put together tough at-bats, and, you know, they scored a bunch of runs?
Yeah, really good point again. And I would give us really good marks. I thought, you know, I'm looking at everything. So I'll go back to Wednesday night. I thought the first inning at Rice wasn't good. I mean, like, Paxton struck out. I think Milam hit a single, Tommy hit into a double play. And it was like, hey, wait a minute. Like, we just let this dude do what we just said we weren't going to let him do. You know what I mean? Like, come on. And then boom, 3 runs are on the board. And then it's 5, and then we score 16. So they got the message there. And then Friday night, I mean, that's a top 5 to 10 pitcher in the country in LeBaron Johnson. And I mean, those dudes ran professional at bats. I mean, I had a really high up baseball person, text me on Saturday morning, like that was an absolute master class in how you beat an ace. And that made me proud because I thought our guys did a great job against him. Because we felt like in that game, going back to it, one advantage we had was the bullpen. And so we knew Luke was going to give us a good start. We knew their guy was going to be tough. So we have to just make it tough on him until we can score. And we were able to do that in the 4th inning. So we didn't score in the first 3 innings, but the first 3 innings from my chair could not have gone any better, unless maybe you got a 2-out hit and pushed one across. So I thought that was great. And then we did a good job against their bullpen, big home run by Tommy, big home run by Jared Jones to stretch that lead, which ended up being important because they were able to score or scratch a couple runs across late.
Yeah, Coach.
And then,
sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead. Sorry,
you go.
Saturday, UL's pitcher did a nice job, and we weren't squaring him up a ton early. But again, same story. We walked 6 times, and he was out of the game in the 5th inning, and we popped the 4-run inning in the 5th inning. And that's going to happen, and that'll happen in the SEC a lot as you face really good pitchers. So I thought he did a good job with a few things. I think there's some next level adjustments we can make to be a little better against a similar type guy next time around, but they did a good job. And then the key in that game was Travinsky's a 2-out, 2 RBI, 2 strikes on a tough slider against a guy that hadn't given up much all year. And then Jones drove him in, with 2 outs to extend the lead there to 4-0. And then we got another homer by Hayden, who I thought had a great weekend. And then Sunday was great. We knew what we needed to do going in. It took us one time through the order to kind of get settled. But, 19 hits, a lot of low liners. I thought our 2-out hitting runner in scoring position was awesome. And I bring that up because nobody ever mentions it when it's awesome. They only mention it when you don't get them.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's supposed to happen when they do it.
What's that?
I said it's supposed to happen when they do it. That's the thought, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah. That's usually coming from people that have never swung a bat, with
it's easy.
Apparently when it's 2 strikes, you get a tennis racket to hit.
It's very easy to do that.
Yeah, so I just think we showed we can win a lot of ways, and that's a really, really good thing.
Coach, before Jay has a couple questions, before I get to him, I want to bring up Paxton because the beginning of the season started, people who haven't really swung a bat are looking at it, oh man, first week in the season, he didn't have a great weekend, pressing the panic button.
Why isn't he Dylan Cruz?
What's that?
Why isn't he Dylan Cruz?
Right. Oh, you're supposed to be this good, but he is great, and he is good. And you're watching the maturation of him as a hitter, at least in my eyes. He's getting on base at a high clip. He's putting together really good swings. It kind of seems like he's starting to find his way in the lineup. And then another guy who we're going to speak to in about 15 minutes is Jared Jones, right? You talked about some of the adjustments that he was working on. He's talked about some of the adjustments he's been working on. He looks like a monster at the plate right now, and he comes up with some huge hits through the course of the first 3 weekends. Can you speak a little bit on both of those guys? Because those are 2 guys that you're trying to count on when the season started.
Yeah, first off, I love those guys. I mean, they're a blast to coach. They have so much upper end ability, and I'm really thankful that I get to coach them and, push them. And it's not always easy or feel good all the time, but they're so talented that just as long as they continue to play and continue to be open to what they need to do to improve and develop, which they both have been, they're both going to be great, and I think we're seeing that. I think, I don't even know what his line was Friday, but I think Friday was the best game Paxton has played at LSU. I thought he hit, had a huge hit in there, but took 5 really, really good at bats, set the tone with a great lead off at bat against LeBaron Johnson, stole second base. He played excellent defensive center field all weekend long. Huge hit yesterday with the bases loaded to give us a little bit of separation. And then with Jared, I'm super proud of his openness, ability to get coached, and he's a tougher one just from a standpoint of like everybody can see his potential as soon as he steps in the box. I mean, it's about as physical looking college baseball player as there is. So he gets pitched differently. So he has to have this balance of being patient, knowing he's going to get pitched differently, but always be ready for that mistake pitch and anticipate that it's coming right then and there. I think what you saw on Friday is him at his best, driving the ball with authority the other way. Did it twice with a triple and a homer. I think just as impressive were his takes and the pitches that he laid off of this weekend. Yeah. And I think that's been an awesome trend and certainly good for us. And they're both great players. They're great human beings. I love working with them and, really excited about having them here and where we're headed with that.
Coach, over the history for yourself, as long as you've watched LSU baseball, you obviously know how special it is. Getting to coach here finally, it's a blessing to be able to play in the box and have people pack it the way it does. It's a luxury to be able to take that team on the road and you get to go to a place like, as Lloyd would call it, the juice box, to be able to play a series like that in front of a crowd like that before you start the SEC slate. Can you talk a little bit about how big that is in the preparation of getting those guys used to what they're going to get on the road and or more, and obviously beyond the SEC as it is as well?
Yeah, I think it was awesome. It felt like Omaha, frankly. And I might have even been Jared. Me and one of the players were having a conversation about that. Like, what a great opportunity for our players that weren't on our team last year, that didn't get to experience, like our fans in an environment like that, which the only place I saw that was the College World Series. And what a great night that was. And just the maturity that our team played with, the at-bats that they took against an ace, the quality defense, the quality pitching that we got, the poise, the composure, doing it in front of all those people. I mean, that's something to be noted. And it's a good sign for our team because you guys know the best players, they love that type of stuff. Yep. And they almost step up a little bit. And I thought our team did that and handled it great. And I think it will be very beneficial, when, go on the road in the SEC play here. The first couple weekends are at two of the most fun places to play in terms of fan, crowd, environment, all those types of things. So really, really beneficial for our team. And I thought we handled that really, really well.
Coach, you obviously you speak to the environment, and then you have Justin Lower, a transfer that comes in a big high leverage situation against ULL, and then you have your first magic moment. My magic moment is for you with the first let's fucking go of the year when you run into it, when you get it going in the juice box after a huge save. I just wondered, was there a little bit of an impetus on that to okay, the season's finally here, boys, let's get going a little bit. You got a little bit of juice in the juice box for a new transfer. That's a great moment for him. I just wanted you to speak on that a little bit.
Yeah.
How do you know that's what he said, Lloyd?
Well, they bleep out one word. Yeah, they bleep out one word.
Yeah, I'm just not just saying, hey, I'm gonna run into the huddle and get all fired up. That's gotta come out the right way.
It felt organic.
Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. So yeah, with Justin, he's a really good pitcher. Our hitters tell me all the time, and I'm always asking them who are the toughest guys to face, and his name comes up a lot. And he's done it. He's had success, and he cares immensely. He's one of my favorite players on the team, just from the sense of how much he cares, how intense he is about it. He's at the field all the time, sometimes for no reason. Just because he's a baseball guy and loves baseball, and he's got a great personality and wants to win and cares a lot and is a really good teammate. And very thankful to have him. And, it was a good step. He was great, I thought, our first weekend. He pitched in 2 times where we really needed him to come through, and he did. And then had a little bit of speed bump last weekend. I thought he was just a little bit tired, maybe because we, for 2 weeks leading into the season and the first 3 appearances, we used him a lot. Had a good week off. I thought he looked fresh. I thought he looked sharp and really, really made some great pitches there, the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning.
And I got to go ahead for one more. I noticed against Texas State early, you got a little contentious, a little back and forth with the umpires, and I was just wondering what caused it because Brady Neal's he's on the on deck circle and he gets flagged for coming out too soon to give a high five. I thought that was a good moment for you to be able, because there's this thing going on with college baseball where they're putting the clamps out on player emotion. I feel like that's what college baseball is all about. So I just wondered kind of how you were feeling going into that moment. It was that people wanted to see it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, not a lot of sleep, a lot of scouting reports. I get it. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, no. So there was something happened in the second inning, and one of their players said something into our dugout, and then I'm like, our dugout, it should be the best place to be anywhere. Like, that's what my feeling of the dugout should be. And it's our 4th game there in 5 days. But these guys had no let up in terms of their enthusiasm and energy, and they're supporting Thatcher. They're supporting our offense. And then the umpires called and said, hey man, they got to keep it in check. I'm like, what are you talking about? This should be the best place to be in the entire country, is in our dugout. And these guys are having fun. Like, what are you even referring to? And they couldn't even really tell me. So then they brought me back out there again, and it was like, I get the whole sportsmanship thing, and we certainly want to be with class and all that, but it's like, come on, man, just call balls and strikes and safe and out, and let these guys enjoy
they struggle with that
being
too,
here, because they do. And so they gave us some parameters on some things that were supposed to be said and that are not supposed to be said, which I won't get into too heavily. I thought our guys played with great energy, and I thought it was a little ticky-tack to try to squash that. So that's why I was a little upset.
I agree. Couldn't agree more. It's got to be – there's the chirping part, if you do it the right way, is part of the game, right? Both teams do it. That's the way it works. It kind of gives you a little bit more edge. It's fun. That's what you're supposed to do. Coach, I appreciate you. One more question before you go. Well, not really one more, but I want to kind of spin back a little bit to the offense. You talk about the depth, and I don't think people realize how hard it is to be able to get guys in the lineup at the rate that you're getting in the lineup, because there's only 9 guys that can play offensively every game. But it feels like you're playing 15 guys a game, and that's not the reality, but you are doing it, and you look up and you're like, damn, Brady Neal's got the start, Travinci's got the start, Milazzo's got the start. I know you want to get Larson more at-bats, but he's got more at-bats than I even thought he had. It's just like you have all these guys and you have all this talent, and the way that – how do you manage to be able to playing time, right? Because you want to be able to get these guys to develop, and I can't imagine that you're going to have a set lineup, maybe till the end of the year. I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind, I tell people this all the time. So last year in Game 71, in the final game of a 5-year career, we had somebody bat leadoff that had never batted leadoff his entire college career. So that tells you how fluid things can be with me. But really, it's about this. It's number one, we need to win the game. That's always going to come number one. Number two, we want to put players in position to be successful, which helps us to lead to win the game. Number three, I want to develop all these guys. I want to have the best team that we can this year, and that's first and foremost. I just am very honest with them. All the decisions that are made are what's best for LSU baseball in 2024. With that in mind, I'm super pumped about the young players that we have on our team. Yeah. We just talked about how much Paxton and Jared are developing, and will continue to develop as they continue to play. I mean, there's a few guys this year that are in that same boat, that are going to be really good for us. And it's exciting, and I want to get them in and use all of their talents. And, there's a lot of roles out there, and there's a few of them that would probably play every pitch of every inning at 280 of the 300 Division I schools right now, And I love the fact that they're here. And they have great leadership. They have great team camaraderie. Everybody pulls for each other. And it really hasn't been a problem, only other than for me of man, I really would like so-and-so to get more at-bats, or I really would not want to take this other guy out. Right. We won a national championship largely because of Josh Pearson hitting a homer and making a great play in left field. And we played 12 games. He's started 9 of the 12, and why would I ever want to take Josh Pearson out? You know what I mean? But this is what I think's been best for right now, and it's probably going to go that way, for a while. And there's even guys, Zeb Riddell, you mentioned Ashton Larson, Ryan Kucherak, Ethan Fry. Those guys, I'd be just fine if we were starting any one of those or all of those guys, and wouldn't expect us to play any differently. So it's just something I look at all the time.
Yeah, that's a blessing and a curse, I think. Obviously it's good to have
Blessing. I will never say.
Yeah, blessing. Curse is probably the wrong word. You're right.
You're talking to a player, coach.
Here's the other thing too that I would say, and this is something that I hope makes us different, is we develop every player on the roster.
Yeah.
Like we work with every player on the roster. It's on every coach's mind all the time of how do we get this player better so they can make a more positive contribution. Like there's a couple guys that are playing a lot that didn't really have great falls, but we outlined like this, and this. This is what we need you to do for you to be the best player you can be and positively impact winning this year. And they've come back and they've been able to check a lot of those boxes, and it's elevated them a little bit. And so we're just always going to develop all of them, but the credit really goes to the players for how they handle themselves. And one thing I think you'll notice is when somebody gets a chance, they're always ready.
Yep.
And that's just a sign of maturity for them.
Yep, absolutely, Coach. I appreciate you coming on as always. Good luck this week. I know I got Southeastern midweek, and then y'all get to be y'all back in the box this weekend for a home series. So looking forward to it. Good luck. Thank you again for coming on. As always, we enjoyed it. And as long as Lloyd doesn't scare you away, we're looking forward to having you on next week.
Look, I crushed you 2 for 2, Coach.
You
Put
did
me back
good
in the lineup.
You did good today.
3 for 3 with the
you
boom.
got some grins from him and everything. I appreciate it.
I know he's tired, so I'm working on that mush brain.
Enjoy your night, Coach.
I'll tell you what, it's as long as we keep it with 2.5 questions.
2.5 to cut off. I like that. Under that. Coach, enjoy your Monday, man. I appreciate it.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
See you later.
I'll take it.
Hey, that was good.
Yeah.
That was good. All right, we're going straight into this thing. All baseball, all the time. We're going to welcome the newest member of the G team as you watch him walk through. Big Bear hit ball far. Welcome back, Bear Jones. Welcome back to the show, man.
Don't hurt him.
Big Bear hit ball far. I used that line the other day on a different show, actually.
Oh. Just like that? You said it just like that?
Just like that. Twice. That's when you went big fly twice. Yeah, and then you went horns down. Loved that. That was a great thing. Welcome back. We've had you on before. You are now a salty vet here at LSU, newest member of the G team. Tell me a little bit about what makes that partnership so special for you.
Yeah, so going back to last year, guys like Gavin Guidry, Cade Beloso, Dugas, and Trey Morgan all signed with them. And when I was talking to them about it, just the impact that it had on them with the community, with Baton Rouge, and even the whole state of Louisiana. Not being from Louisiana and being from Georgia, anything I could do to give back to the state that I'm going to call home for 3 to 4 years is important to me. And so Get Gordon is helping me doing that.
They've done a really good job. Obviously, we've become real tight with the G team, and Watson, Jeff over here has taken the spot of the other G team member, Ramsey Barfield. Ramsey got Wally Pipp, so now Ramsey's no longer goes on the show. So you're surrounded by a lot of good guys. We've been very fortunate to have a partnership. I'm very happy for y'all to be able to do it. Let's get into the baseball conversation though, right? Last year we had you on here, and we talked about some of the things that you wanted to do to better yourself as a baseball player. Some of the things that, sometimes you got caught yourself looking at the numbers. Sometimes you caught yourself kind of getting caught up in something that may be not going the way you wanted it to go, right? You finished last year, you won the World Series, you come back knowing you're going to have a major role on this team, but also knowing there's some things that you wanted to do to better yourself as a baseball player. Obviously, you have done that, right? You've worked your ass off through the offseason until now, and continuing to work your ass off to put yourself in a position to be your best self. What are some of those adjustments that you made, and how do you feel that you've kind of started the season?
Yeah, I think from a mental standpoint, like talking to Coach Johnson, he's gotten me in with sports psychiatrists and stuff, and talking to them. He does a great job of bringing in speakers to talk to the whole team about this kind of idea of surrendering the result, just committing to the process. And I know that's like super cliche to say, but I mean, it's kind of that simple.
Right.
I think once you get a better understanding of like, hey, baseball is not a game that you can go and perfect. It's not something that you can go and just be amazing at all the time. So if you're going to play this game for a long time, you have to be in the right state of mind at all times playing. So that was like the first thing for me, was making sure that no matter how my day was going, I was the same person, same attitude on and off the field. And then physical adjustments, just the more repetition I got with seeing spin, the more at-bats I got off 95-plus arms. I went up to the Cape this summer. I struggled, but I stuck it out because that's 60 more at-bats that I wouldn't have had without it. Throughout the fall, I'm facing one of the best pitching staffs in the country. That's 100 more at-bats off of really good arms. So now just starting to get into season, it's all these reps of, good college at-bats against good arms is kind of catching up, and it's just taking that with me with some confidence from the middle game.
Dude, so I'm glad you're talking about the middle game of this thing, because that's obviously, as we know, baseball's tough, man, and it is a mental grind day in and day out all the time. Habits are created over time. So is there ever a time you catch yourself kind of drifting back into maybe some of the old mindsets? And if you do, how do you get yourself back to where you are right now, to where you're committed and focused and staying on the process?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like this weekend even, I had a good weekend by a lot of standards, but, the last 2 games I had 2 punch-outs each game. So in those at-bats, I kind of catch myself getting back into that, effort mentality. And so just for me, going back like into the tunnel or at LSU, our locker room is like, right behind the dugout. So you can go back in there, and I just kind of like go in there. It's a place where nobody else is in. You got to clear your mind. If you got to say a couple words, say a couple words. But it's not on TV. It's not in front of teammates. It's in a controlled space where no one can see me get it out, and then it's right back to playing.
I think people forget that they feel like once you figured out the mental game, right? For one, you never figure it out, right? Like it's always a work in progress. And I think people forget that, hey, once you do well with it, it's easy. It's not really, it's always a work in progress. It's not easy, right? Because the bad habits or the things that kind of creep back into your mind always are trying to come back. And it's up to you, us as players, to be able to keep them back there and keep them at bay. And, the fact that you have some mechanisms to be able to do that, I think is a huge step forward. I didn't have those in college. Like I didn't really focus on that until it was probably too late. Some may call me a mental midget. I don't know if I can say that, but
I think it's just a turn of phrase.
He just likes good weather, dude. Weather's just got to be good.
Sometimes maybe a mental liability at times, Sometimes, so I get
summer, just got to go weather.
Wait for the weather to heat up.
But some of those mechanisms, obviously, you go in there and you clear your mind. So it's good to hear that you have those types of things. This weekend, though, you hit a couple big homers, and you're starting to show. We've seen it. We've got to know your dad a little bit. We got to know you a little bit. We got to see your personality. But people see you on the field, and you're this enormous human being and kind of scary looking on the field. But you're starting to show your personality a little bit, right? Called your homer on camera, which was awesome. Fire. Awesome. And then you come down, stomp on home plate, horns down. Who the hell is going to tell you something, right? After that, is that just because you're a lot more comfortable with where you're at? You've kind of got 2 years under your belt, and you just kind of feel like, okay, it's time for me to kind of show my personality. You're okay doing that?
Man, I don't know.
I love it.
Yeah, I guess I'm just trying to have fun.
And that's it.
I think that keeps me in the best mental state when playing baseball. It's just how much fun can I have playing. So we were up big against Stony Brook, and they had made that TikTok and all that, but it was more of just hey, I just caught Dawson out of the corner of my eye recording, and I just peeked at him hey, I'm on a homer right here, just as a joke, and I was lucky to get to a 3-1 count. And I was just it's a 3-1 count. I'm gonna let loose here, and it was lucky enough to hit a home run. And then against Texas, I think that's a big hit. Yeah, that's a big hit. Tommy had hit one early in the inning, and he was pretty pumped up about it. We got super hyped in the dugout. I don't want to say it, but it's our first test of the year. Right. That's Texas. No, absolutely. That's 2 of the best programs in the country on a major league field in the 7th inning of a ball game. So, and honestly, I've hit a couple home runs this year, but none like that where it was backside.
That was about as pure as that. That one's probably the best one you've hit all year. Probably the best one you probably in your mind.
It's the best swing I've seen you take.
I mean, that's a
purple and gold.
That's a deep right center field 3-run.
Yeah.
Boomba to opposite field. That's
over the bullpens.
Yeah,
into the
you can't really draw it up.
You had a kid trying to kill himself to get the ball.
I saw that on the video. So yeah, I was just and then I just blacked out, and I think I hit like every celebration in the book.
like the football guy from Southern.
Yeah.
You saw that.
Hey, can you talk about that feeling a little bit? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, like, it doesn't matter how much pop anyone has. Like, I can watch a lot of people hit pull side homers, and it is what it is, right? But when you start, and I'm not saying you've never have before. That's not at all what I'm saying. But that ball you hit in Minute Maid Park was something different, right? When you unlock the swing where you're doing that in the game, what's that feeling like? Because that's different than just hitting straight pull side balls too.
Yeah, it definitely is. I just feel like, and it carried on to my next at bat. It's just like, at that point, if the pitcher's, you throw 94, 95, it doesn't matter. I can still hit the ball the other way with the fastball. So for me, I was just able to stay on pitches better. So that led to staying on a curveball my next at bat and doing the same thing and hit it ground or double to right center. So for me, it's just more of now because I can go the other way, I can see the ball longer. Because I can see the ball longer, I can decide whether it's a strike or a ball better. And then from there, it's just taking a short, tight swing and being able to trust myself to go that way.
You talked about this being y'all's first true test, right? Y'all started the season off. I talked about it with Jay a little earlier. Y'all started the season off with kind of a unconventional schedule. 4-game series to start the season against 2 teams, right? So you're not playing teams consecutively. Next series, 4-game series against 2 different teams. And you go and you play a tournament-style series against 3 separate teams you're not probably going to see again. Maybe you'll see UL, I guess, one more time throughout the course of the year.
Maybe a regional.
And then maybe in a regional, right, postseason. So this weekend was probably y'all's biggest test. What have you seen from the guys on the team? You were on the team last year. Obviously, you won national championship. Now you're coming on a new team. A lot of guys are trying to kind of replace other guys in their roles and kind of step up. What have you seen from the guys on this team and the team so far early in the year?
Yeah, I mean, like Friday night, I remember walking out of the tunnel and like, there's 30,000 people.
Yeah, that was sick.
And it's sick, and it gets you pretty nervous. And, you're playing Texas, and it's their Friday night guys. So I think, a lot of us that were on the team last year experienced that in Omaha, facing, guy from Wake Forest, Rhett Lauder, and then the 2 starters from Florida. So they got a taste of that. So the guys that, freshmen and then the transfers, obviously, that's their first taste of, like, we're playing in front of a big crowd in a big league ballpark. Like, this is big boy baseball now. This is what SEC play is going to feel like when we go to Mississippi State and Arkansas. So, I mean, like, Friday night, I think Braswell had 2 really big hits in that game. Mm-hmm. And for him, I know Founders Park is a really great park, but for him to be at a place like that, get 2 big hits, play great defense, mm-hmm. For him, that's going to grow his confidence. That's going to help our pitchers trust him behind him, and then everything starts falling into place. Paxton Kling had a great weekend as well, had some great plays in the outfield. Like, if we're going to be strong up the middle, Brady caught well, Alex catches well, Hayden catches well, we're going to be good up the middle, and then, we're going to play good defense and take quality ABs.
You're obviously not the old guy, but you have a year more of experience than the freshmen and our guys who have not played in what's going to be this conference and obviously at the box, right? What are you able to give to those guys with a year more of experience that maybe you wish you would have gotten last year, or maybe you didn't get until later in the year, however it went? What are you able to give to those young guys?
Yeah, I just try and, cut it up with them as much as possible. I think when guys, like, sometimes because, freshmen don't play as much, they can sometimes, like, get down on themselves for why am I not starting? And I'm not saying that anybody has, but the more that you can be like an uplifter, hey, be on the energy bus and pick guys up, I think the more that just helps the dugout and guys who aren't playing that day. And then for me, I just like when you get that chance, it's not make or break. If you go up there and your first pinch hit at bat of the day and you strike out on 3 pitches, that doesn't mean you're never going to pinch hit again. And if you go up there and hit a home run on the first pitch, that doesn't mean you're going to start the next day. So I think just understanding that Coach Johnson has a plan for everybody and that, we all have our roles on this team, and that's what it's going to take to be a successful team again.
Does that come from the top down? Because it feels like it does. There's a lot of baseball players that obviously are looking for like one opportunity, and then it feels like you can ingratiate yourself in the lineup. But when it comes to LSU, whether it be pitching, catching, or even in the lineup where you can have a guy that bats third and didn't play the next day, is that something that y'all start on like day one of, look, we're going to do this a little bit a different way. I need you to buy in, and if you're not in, then there's really not a spot for you. But if you buy in, there's always going to be an opportunity for you to play.
Absolutely. I think from day one of the fall, Coach Johnson makes that very clear that even on last year's team, which was one of the best college baseball teams of all time, opening day lineup was not the same as the last lineup on Game 3 in Omaha. So, and it's going to be the same this year. Whatever we start with is not necessarily what we're going to end with. We're going to have injuries on the pitching staff. We're going to have injuries on position players. We're going to have guys that are banged up, guys that are not hot, guys that are hot. So just understanding that baseball is one of those games with ebbs and flows, and you just got to ride it out as long as you can.
I think another thing that I don't know if people have really touched on, people have mentioned it, obviously, I'm sure you've heard it. You are not only taking a bigger role in the lineup, right? You're taking a bigger role in the defensive side, right? Trey Morgan was the first baseman for 3 years. He was really good defensively. You were making that move to the everyday first baseman. How has that transition been? Because you came here as a catcher. I'd imagine you played some infield in your lifetime. I did not.
Oh, this is first baseman to first baseman.
I did not. I had one start at first base. It was not good. So I understand how hard first base is to play, right? Especially if you've never done it before. But you're making that adjustment. You've played great at first. Have you done
emotional?
Have you done anything specifically to kind of get you ready for that?
Josh Jordan, he's our recruiting coordinator, and he does a lot of work with the catchers and infielders as well. And I guess because I came in as a catcher, me and him had a great relationship, and so now he works with me on first base stuff. For the most part, I mean, we just work on like simple drills, footwork around the bag. He'll get out there and hit me some fungos, turn in two, and then, picks on first base.
Have you played first before this year?
A little bit. Like my senior year of high school, I would catch 2 games, play first the third one. So I'd been familiar there, but I think I was catching guys who threw 80 miles an hour across the diamond. Now, like last year, catching JT, who, I mean, he can run up to 97, 99 across the diamond with sink. And then,
late sink.
Really late action. Yeah, and it's got 130 feet to sink. So it's not as easy as it seems. So this year, Brass has a great arm. He was a pitcher in high school, so him, and he can drop it down from any arm angle he wants. So just getting the feel for it and being comfortable with my guys.
What's the hardest thing at first base? I'll tell you, I whiffed on a pickoff, by the way.
Pickoffs are
impossible. People don't think that. People think, oh, just get no. You're not.
Because pitchers are so geared up, and they just turn and throw it.
And they hum that thing.
And they have no idea where it's going.
Yeah.
How much are your knees?
See, that makes you feel better.
How much are your knees thanking you right now?
A lot.
I bet. NIL has been a topic of conversation around NCAA, around colleges, everywhere. I think it's a good thing. I think that there needs to be obviously some regulation. I'm not going to ask you about that. But for you, what has NIL meant for you to be able to you said give back to the community. You said be able to give yourself, opportunities to do things that in years past college athletes weren't able to do. How important has NIL been for you?
Very important. I think, I'll make a funny joke, but like NCAA football coming back, that's exciting. So
bring back NCAA college baseball. What are we
no
talking
doubt.
about?
Yeah. But like growing up, I had 4 siblings that all played college athletics, and I know that my sisters and brother all had jobs over the summer. Like my brother played summer ball his freshman year, but his sophomore and junior, he had jobs. I think he worked at like a Home Depot one year to help pay for school.
Right.
So watching them go through that and me being afforded the luxuries of
Home Depot would love you.
Nice little back brace and be good to go, baby.
But just being able to have the privilege of coming to a school like LSU to capitalize on NIL deals and stuff like that, and be able to be comfortable with where I'm at is huge for me. And so just having older siblings pave the way for me has been huge. And so helping them out any way I can.
Jeff, this one's for you. We talked a little bit last week about, was it last week? Yeah, it was last week. A little bit last week about NIL and the new ruling they had.
Yeah.
Right? and we got into a pretty deep conversation about what that means for the NCAA. You have an update on that for us.
So NCAA president responded. He
Everybody
responded.
hear your voice.
Yeah,
Your beautiful voice.
and he sent out basically a letter to everyone, kind of telling them that the NCAA is not dead, but let me tell you what's going on. So the things that stayed in place was the no pay for play. So you can't do if you get 10 rebounds or if you hit a bomb, I'm going to pay you. So
no
that
incentives.
No incentives. Quid pro quo, which means you have to do something for the money. So you just can't say, I'll give you $100,000 to go to LSU.
What's considered something?
You got to do a deliverable, which is what we kind of do.
Which would be a home run.
Our athletes. So
Right,
they
but
do stuff like.
But you
this
can
show.
any type of deliverable. Like you could say, hey, I need you to walk by this place for 5 minutes and shake a hand and leave.
Exactly.
Right?
You have to have some value in it.
But
So-
not a home run, which has a ton of value.
That's right. You cannot do.
That's pay for play,
that.
Oh.
And then
It's a deliverable.
Deliverable. That's what we call them. The other thing was direct institutional payment. LSU can't pay the NIL stuff. So he kind of laid that out and said, these three things are still in place, and we're working with the attorney generals and the other attorneys to try to come up. What they're trying to do is come out of the antitrust laws. So over history, certain groups, unions, professional organizations have gotten exempt status outside of the antitrust laws because that's what's really harming them right now. And so I expect a lot to be happening with the NCAA tournament attorneys trying to get Congress to get them out of those antitrust laws.
What do you think is going to happen? Do you think they're going to get them out?
I think there's going to be a lot of
It feels like
change.
this the
I think
last.
It's not going to go back to what it was before. I think there's going to be some kind of middle ground that they're going to come up with that still allows the athletes to, make their
Profit.
money and exactly.
Well, I'm glad we got the G team doing the NIL the right way.
That's
right.
right.
Deliverables. This is a great deliverable.
That's right.
Right. We've had him on without the G team. It's better with the G team.
Yeah.
Look, I got the G team baseball. You got the G team shirt.
Yep.
That's. I think.
Got his 888 hat on. He's got it all.
Well, yeah.
He's got his over there.
I got one over here. I'll put this right here. Right there. We all got it.
Which he did win an award for that.
He did win
an
an award.
advertising award called the Addy Awards.
Yeah.
They had that like
Congratulations.
2 weeks ago. So yeah,
Congratulations.
Gordon come up with that and got
First
him
one that won the
award.
Billboard.
So
First one that won the Billboard.
But yeah, so like I said, I'm all for NIL. I think it's a great thing. I think that there needs to be some sort of parameters,
structure.
Like just everybody needs to be playing on the same playing field, and hopefully this is a step in that direction. I'm not very confident that the NCAA is going to really figure this thing out.
Yeah.
Something else needs to happen. I think a higher power. Someone needs to come back. Nick Saban needs to go and run that thing. Say, this is how it needs to be structured. I don't know. Someone like that. We're thankful for that. Obviously, we are super thankful for you, having you here. Lloyd, do you have any more?
No, all good.
Any brain busters?
No. I mean, could have been a lawyer, decided not to. Stuck it out here for you fellas. I'm learning that more and more as we go
I don't
through
think
this.
we're the only people that need to thank you. I think the world probably needs to thank you for not becoming an attorney.
888-8888.
I don't know that. I definitely don't know if Gordon's hiring you. I definitely.
Hey, if Ramsey can get a spot.
That's true. That's
Bro,
true.
Ramsey.
Ramsey got the right timing.
Yeah, you just don't
Right
even have
It's all about timing
It's all
sometimes.
about
He knows
timing.
what we
Right
mean.
timing.
What's the test?
Before I let you go, I do want to ask you a little bit about the staff, right? Because you talked about you faced one of the best pitching staffs in the country in the fall, and I think we're starting to see that. Obviously, Jay made kind of a change in the rotation structure. He came out and said, "Look, we have 3 aces. We have 3 guys in the rotation that can all be Friday night guys." It was just the way it worked out this weekend, and Holman has thrown lights out. Like, he obviously has earned the right to throw on a Friday. It doesn't mean anybody else is not as good as him or, he's that much better than everyone else. He was pitching really well. But then you have Gage Jump, who threw lights out, and you had Thatcher, who had his best game of the year on Sunday. How deep, you've seen it firsthand, how deep is y'all's pitching staff? And I personally think it's deeper than people even realize.
I do too. We have a lot of lefties, and Coach Johnson likes to mix and match with those guys. So like you might only see a lefty like one time a weekend and be like, oh, so he's not a guy,
Right.
but he is a guy. He just matched up well with that lefty. So I think it's a ton of depth. I mean, Sammy Dutton didn't even throw this weekend.
Right.
And
He's been one of the better guys on the pen.
He's one of our better guys out of the pen. Didn't need him to throw this weekend.
Right.
That's because we hit well, but we pitched really well against Texas, ULL, and against. I mean, Texas State, they put up 5 was it? But
late, right?
It was late. I mean, guy was check swinging. It was a weird 5.
Yeah. Kind of running their mouth a little bit. I heard. That's what Jay said. They're chirping.
Chirping.
They try, and y'all chirp back, which y'all should. And they umpires seemed like it was.
Everybody should have learned from Stony Brook after the old Get the Gat celebration. It's like, all right, you woke up the beat.
First of all, the Get the Gat celebration was 5 years too late.
Yeah. And it was football.
And it was 2019.
It was only football.
It was the best team in the history of college football.
They could hit the Tommy.
Relax. Yeah. It wasn't like y'all been doing good. that would have been more relevant, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
it woke up the beast or the bear.
The bear. It woke up the bear, which I loved. Right. I love a little bit of the chirping back and forth. But the depth isn't just on the mound. It's in the position groups too, right? All the position players. It feels like Jay is throwing guys in there every single game, and it's like it feels like they're playing 14, 15, 16 guys a day, and he's really only playing 9. But everybody is getting their opportunity to play, and every time, whenever they get in there, they're ready to go, right? Talk about how talented the young guys are, especially offensively.
Yeah, it's big for us. I think Coach Johnson says it all the time. He's like, we don't have enough spots on the field for the position players that need to get at bats. But, I did it a little bit last year of being a role guy of, getting an at bat here and there. And I think it's tough to stick with it because, you're not getting consistency out of it. But I think I like how well they're handling it as they're embracing their at-bats and just taking them with, as they come and not getting frustrated at the fact that, like, they might get one a game or one a weekend. But they're making the most of their opportunity.
I think you're the perfect test case for it. As somebody that kind of went through the exact same ringer, then look at what you're doing this year. Like, if you stick with the program, look at what you're able to do 1 year later where you're a fixture in the lineup.
Absolutely.
I feel like both of y'all are pretty good examples of that.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Jay had one?
Yeah, dude. So when you're able to sit there and play defense behind what you guys have had on the mound, right? And for me, it's one thing to see, like, you having a guy that's 89 and 92 and like, hey, if he's on, we got a good chance. Or you have a guy that's 95 but he has absolutely no clue where it's going, right? With the quality of arms that y'all have and their ability to just compete, whether they're on or whether they're not, to just compete. How big is that for y'all to be able to have quicker innings, to be able to get on and off the field and translate that kind of, I guess, defensive play into what y'all are able to do offensively?
Well, I think Texas on Friday, I think they grounded out one time. So I didn't really do much that game. I think they struck out 20 times. And
That's right. I forgot they did struck
out 20 times. So playing, Luke Coleman was lights out that night.
That's easy.
It's almost
catch
like,
it around the horn.
Yeah, you're just throwing it around, and I don't even touch the ball on that. So I'm literally just sitting there going,
yeah, making sure the outfield
two down,
catching the ball from the dugout.
Rolling ground balls in between. That was pretty much it. UL, Gage was the same way. He was pitching to contact, getting guys. He's got a good ride fastball, so he gets a lot of pop-ups. Thatcher's the same way, so he got a lot of fly balls. But I think Texas State put the ball in play. They had a better approach, I thought. And we're able to put the ball in play, and so, but that gets guys action, keeps them in the game. Yeah. Then Braswell's locked in at shortstop because he's locked in at shortstop. Now he's got confidence at the plate,
right? And
now everything's starting to roll. We get long. I think the inning we scored 5 against Texas State, we batted around, and it was like a 35 minute inning. And right. I think Javen was pitching at the time. I think he almost had to get re-warmed up,
right? And
so. I know we had a game earlier this year where Coach Johnson was not happy with the pace of play, and so that has been a big point of emphasis for us.
I'm sure he politely has told y'all that we need to figure that out. Well, I appreciate y'all coming on the show, as always. Appreciate the G team and everything that y'all do for the athletes here at LSU and everything that y'all have done for us as a show. We appreciate y'all. We appreciate your knowledge of the NIL world. We appreciate your personality because it's great. I love it. And good luck this weekend. Y'all finally get this week.
Can't overlook
play Southeast.
America.
You're right. My buddy's the hitting coach there. Can't overlook him. They just beat ECU.
Why'd you look over him?
I didn't look over him. I just forgot to mention him. But then y'all play Southeastern, and then y'all finally get a normal series at home, right? 3 games against Xavier. So good luck this weekend.
Justin Lower homecoming.
No, not homecoming.
Well, they're coming home to him.
Yep, they're coming to him.
That's what you get when you make the transfer.
That's it. You come to me, I don't go to you.
Exactly.
No doubt. Okay, we appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all again next week. We'll see you again next week. I don't know who's going to be up. Surprise. It'll be a surprise. It's always a surprise. They're signing new people all the time, so we'll see what happens. We'll see the next one. We'll see you next in the lineup next weekend. Appreciate y'all. Y'all can hang out. Y'all can move around. Y'all can do whatever y'all need to do. Well, that was a great baseball show so far. An hour of baseball.
Baseball show.
We're a baseball show. That's what people always think we are. Just a baseball show. Yeah, Coach, you have zero shot of you're like a 2-year-old compared to him.
Yeah, well, that's true.
I mean, you almost broke your hand giving you a fist pump.
Only got 10 years on him, no big deal.
Yeah, but he's got 10 feet on you.
Yeah, can't make up for experience though.
Cannot
drink him under the table.
I don't know about that.
Legally.
That's true.
888.
Appreciate the G team coming in as always. I didn't even get through the headlines.
Glad you didn't.
What, the headlines?
Well, Jay was just, he's running on fumes.
No doubt. Listen, I said 6:05, and he was there.
Game time.
He was great. Look, he was happy. You made him happy today.
I know. I took advantage of the, he's not fully in there, Long travel schedule, 4 teams in 5 days. A little bit of the mush brain. Take advantage of that.
He was alert. He was alert.
Well, I think 4-0 also helps.
Definitely
no
helps.
Doubt. Coming back home on a normal week schedule too helps.
Then
Monday
back
off.
on the road.
Huh?
They're going to Hammond, America.
Yeah, I know. Then they got a home series, and they got on the road at Mississippi State. I do want to mention this not baseball, but let's say softball. LSU women's softball has started 19-0. It's pretty impressive.
Oklahoma could never.
Well,
they lost to ULL.
But 19-0 is a pretty good start. Beth Farina's got the girls playing great. It was a big weekend for LSU sports.
Athletics.
Was it gymnastics, women's basketball, men's basketball, baseball, softball. There's one other one, right? No? Is that
Field
it?
hockey.
Volleyball?
Sure.
Volleyball, beach volleyball? I don't know. Something else, I think. But they went undefeated on the weekend. LSU is in every sports school, and I love that. Every time that they are doing well in other sports, not just the big 3, I think it's important. And I think
campus better.
Can't hurt. What?
Makes campus better.
It does make campus better. Things are starting to warm up.
St. Patrick's Day is right around the corner.
St. Patty's Day is right. Things are starting to.
Jared's favorite holiday.
I have a great time at St. Patty's Day.
Hey, weather's starting to warm up. It's getting closer to the time that I like the most. Where it's you can go to the pool, you can go to the beach.
Play basketball.
The ball started. Basketball's over. Basketball's over.
Oh, no more mouse in the house?
Well, the mouse is still in the house. I feel like the modern day Tom and Jerry. I am. This little dude is.
You don't have a cat yet, though.
I do not have a cat, and I'm very close to getting one. I don't like cats. I don't, but this mouse is elusive. I cannot find him. I cannot get him. I've laid out traps, and he is just nowhere to be found.
Dip and I dodge.
I don't know what's going on. And it's driving me crazy.
I love your optimism that you think it's just one.
No. I'm literally thinking the same thing. I'm like,
I know it's not.
He said this mouse. I'm like,
I know it's not just one.
Squad in the crib.
I know it's not just one, but none of them. It's like none of them are going to where they're supposed to be going. And everywhere they've been, nope, can't find them.
It's like a Jay Johnson lineup.
I think the boys. I think they have daily meetings back in there, and they just
think
kind
so.
of game plan.
They got this. They got the construction going on behind my house, and everything's getting pushed, and I don't love it. And it's very not fun. I don't love it. It's driving me crazy.
Piper.
It's driving me crazy. It's driving my wife crazy.
Oof. Sounds like she's not a happy camper in there right now.
We should move.
You may not be a camper for much longer in there if you keep this up right now.
I'm willing to say, you know what? I'm gonna go. We're gonna leave the house for a week. Come fumigate my house and just kill
Put
him.
the tin up.
Just kill him.
But then it's gonna smell too.
Nope. Kill him and find him.
Good luck.
Get a cat. I got one. Free.
I'm honestly may tell you come sleep in the guest room for a few days and leave this cat out here.
Let Tunchi get his blood.
I just don't know how Kobe's gonna. I don't know how Kobe's gonna handle
Let's
that.
kill her alive.
Has he gotten a mouse?
Oh, we don't have mouse in our house.
You and Lloyd switch spots?
That you know of.
You and Lloyd switch spots for a week?
That you know of.
I mean, look, these things don't come cheap, Coach. She wants me. You're in trouble.
Yeah. She's not gonna like that I talked about that either.
Well, maybe you'll get somebody in the chat to help.
There's no. I mean, I got the experts in there now. It ain't just me doing it. I got experts come and find this thing.
This one singular.
These things.
On a different note, if you get a bunch of them, they like gang their tails together, and you get like a rat's nest. That's what the saying is. That's where it comes from.
They
They
nest. I know.
You might be in that territory.
Huh. We're working on it. I got everything I need to do trying to get them out. So.
Have you gotten has the gun come out?
The gun.
Like a shotgun?
Why would I take a shotgun out?
I'm just saying, how crazy can you get?
I mean, if anything, I'll lay on my kitchen island with like a
22?
BB gun and shoot him with. It's a mouse. It's not like it's like a.
We had one in college that we just kind of let roam free, and it was just one. So
that you thought of.
That maybe you don't scare him. It was Greg the Mouse. He was fine.
I'm about to get him tonight.
No, you're not.
Oh, I am.
They're listening right now.
I'm getting them. Getting them.
Them.
Did you watch any of the combine? Remember we talked about this last year. I do enjoy watching the combine, but I didn't watch it. I just watched some of the highlights. Brian Thomas Jr. 4.33.
Is that what he ran?
4.34.
4.3440. I said 4.33. I'm sorry.
He probably could have. He stumbled off the gate. He probably could have gotten you a.
How about the guy broke the record?
Texas.
Yep, Xavier
I
Worthy.
did not know he was that fast. I knew he was kind of a burner, but I didn't know he was that.
He's got the fast person skinny legs. You know.
Oh, he's got the
those
frame
high
for it,
calves.
The skinny ankles, like.
I mean, there's not much calves there. It was literally just.
Yeah, right. He's got like the Deshaun Jackson body type. Like, hey, you are.
You better.
He's what I want you to look like when I say you run a 4.2, because if you can't, I'm not. What else can you do for me right now? I need you to be able to burn a little bit.
Yeah.
But he can run. Boy, he can run. Cool.
And that's where I get in the conversation of how much weight do you put on the 40 at this point. I think for Brian Thomas, it's totally different because of physique. Whenever you're that big, that strong, and then you turn up with the 4.34, it's like, oh,
no
shit.
doubt. That was, and he said he was gonna run fast. I think everybody thought around here he was gonna run. Nobody, we knew he could run. I just didn't know how fast he actually was.
I think he's got more in the tank.
I mean, he's 6'4".
17 touchdowns led the nation and 4.34 speed. By
yeah,
the
I mean,
way.
they're being talked about getting drafted 18th overall. No,
I think
maybe
the Bengals
that
wanted
now.
that, and now the secret might be out.
The Bengals wanted him.
This is something that I want to talk about.
Okay, here we go. Look at you bringing some topics.
Because I just read about this from
about time.
somebody
It's about
else.
time.
Yeah, I just didn't break down every presser that Jay Johnson did, and then he's like, oh, I forgot my
here we
laptop.
go.
I've been breaking them down, huh?
I did.
Soft pat on the back here.
Right click.
No, I had to listen to these and type my transcribed them.
He did notate it.
We just ran out of time. But for the Combine, they're talking about this narrative going on around J.J. McCarthy, John James, that because he competed in the Combine, now he's shooting up draft boards past people that didn't compete. Who do you think he shot, like, in what eyes of people that are evaluating the Combine other than media did he shoot past? Do you not think they're, like, watching tape? Like, this is the most absurd narrative I've ever heard of.
Now they're talking about him being a top 5 pick. Now.
Now he's over Drake May. Now he's over.
Hey, I'll be honest with you. It would be a great play if you're a team who thinks he's good, but still wants these other guys, and you'd be like, hey, please float this out there. Just float out there that he's jumping.
Trade up to go
that
get
he's
somebody.
jumping. Because we would love for him to kind of fall and us not have to go get whoever we really want way at the top. Be a great play.
Listen,
Because I'm with you. Like, hey, good, great. You competed at the combine. It looked great at the combine. But I still got to tape all these other dudes.
I think the other narrative was, had he been in LSU's offense, his numbers would look similar to Jaden Daniels. And to me, that's kind of absurd as well.
Yeah, it's pretty absurd.
Oh, this was one of my mistakes today. I put in 2 just in case this came up.
Man, you ain't running for 1,400 or however many yards that Jaden Daniels ran for, and I don't think you're throwing for that many yards. It would help you have 2 first-round receivers, no doubt.
So Mike Tannenbaum claims J.J. McCarthy would have put up Jaden Daniels-type numbers if he had been at LSU or they had flip-flop places. Someone's going to try to move up the Chargers at 5 to get in front of Giants at 6, Tannenbaum said on Get Up, of course. We can talk about wins being a quarterback statistic, but I fell in love with J.J. McCarthy in 2022 when he's down 2 points against Illinois at home, and it was a freezing cold day. He went down and got a game-winning field goal with his feet passing and drawing a pass interference. How far can we reach? And he's a winner. He can make all the throws.
Tannenbaum also said that the Jets were going to sign Russell Wilson again with.
Oh, he's just talking. He's saying he's just spray painting the board.
If you're missing what I'm saying, they also said 2 years after his worst year in his career, he's going to go back and be the backup behind Aaron with the same coach that just bombed his career. What sense does that ever make? So he also said that too. So
so losing a little credibility.
Yeah, let that go too far with him.
Yeah, Russell's gone.
He is. He goes, what's really interesting to me, Greeny, is that if he had played for LSU, what would his stats look like? They look a lot closer to Jaden Daniels. If Jaden Daniels was at Michigan, his stats would look a lot closer to J.J. McCarthy.
Did anybody fight him on that?
I just read the article. What do you
I would have
want?
liked to see. I want to go back and watch that because I hope somebody on there.
Well, you're
I hope Arlovsky was on it because Arlovsky is a huge Jaden Daniels fan right now.
He is.
Arlovsky says Jaden should go 1 overall.
But it's not just now. He's been saying this since October. Yeah,
no doubt. But he said he's jumped Caleb Williams. He should go 1. So I hope he was on there, or Ryan Clark, or anybody else.
No, he's got the Giants, the New York mouthpiece, and Greeny, who's like, yeah, get him.
Yeah,
We got Rodgers.
he's a Jets guy. Oh.
I know. Yeah, it's like
I don't even think Greeny wants.
What is the difference between Daniel Jones and J.J. McCarthy? They're the same person.
Stop. No, I wouldn't go that far.
J.J. did throw at 62 miles an hour against the wall at the combine.
But I wouldn't go that far. That's a little far.
Daniel Jones did run 23 miles an hour and then tripped on the 20.
Turf monster. People
He did run fast.
Maybe too fast.
Maybe too fast for his.
I'll give him this much stock in the sense of
if he goes in the first round, good luck.
J.J. McCarthy is going to go in the first round.
Yeah, he is. No, he is. All I'm saying is I'll give him this much stock. Harbaugh's pretty good with the quarterback position. He's made some guys do some really, really good things, and some guys play at some really high levels. So that's the guy that he's putting it on. I feel like there's a lot of belief in him there, right? Because there's some other talented guys they had there too that they said, nah, he's going to be the starter instead. So give him that. But at this point right now, there's just no way you can sit here and say that he's jumped the 4, maybe 5 guys that are in front of him. No, not to me.
I agree.
Because this is what happens every year. There's always somebody they put on a pedestal where it's like, oh, you have to take him. That
Well,
comes in
they
late.
did that with last year with Richardson. He actually.
How many games did he play?
Yeah, but he got hurt.
No, how did he get hurt?
I mean, I get it. I get it. But he looked good when he was playing.
Yeah, sure.
You know? But he's not even. I mean, that's hard to compare because his athleticism and J.J. McCarthy's athleticism don't compare.
Public versus private.
Huh?
Public school versus private school.
Well, I mean, that's
a what?
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I'm not saying that.
Put Anthony Richardson on Michigan and see what happens.
He probably would have done. He didn't do great at Florida, so I mean, I don't know how well he would have done there.
Well, that's the take. That's what I'm saying. It's like give J.J. McCarthy 2 first-round wide receivers and an offense that was the number 1 in the country. I would hope he does a little bit better than what he did at Michigan.
No doubt. I mean, they just throw the ball more. Of course, he's gonna have better numbers.
Do you want to know what those numbers were?
His numbers?
Last season, McCarthy threw for 2,900 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions, with a completion percentage of 72%. 202 rushing yards and 3 rushing touchdowns.
Great.
In comparison, Daniels 3,812 yards, 40 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, the same amount, 72% completion percentage, 1,134 rushing yards, and 10 rushing touchdowns. Yeah.
Same guy.
Same guy. Same player.
Same.
It was just the freezing cold temperatures in Illinois that slowed him down.
Yep. That was 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. He's gotten better since then. It's unbelievable what they do.
It is. I just don't. I mean, they do it. It's a disservice to
the guys that actually put the numbers up.
Yeah, and it's a disservice to those guys that are getting moved all the way up there because they're going to get put in a position where they probably let this guy get drafted 28th behind a good team and let him sit there for a couple years, right? Or don't put him 5th overall on a team that has to have him and he's not ready. Like, he may be ready. I don't know. I don't evaluate football, guys. We're a baseball show, right? We don't know football.
Some of the guys that have gotten the media bump over the years were starting 14 Blake Bortles, 16 Paxton Lynch, 17 Mitchell Trubisky, 18 Sam Darnold, 19 Daniel Jones, 21 Zach Wilson, 22 Kenny Pickett, 23 Will Levis, and now 24 J.J. McCarthy.
So not great, Bob.
Not great, Bob.
No, there's probably a couple more that
weren't first-round picks.
Well, no, because there was a couple years where they had a bunch of quarterbacks that just didn't pan out. Right? Didn't they have 5 quarterbacks taken one year?
That's what they're pushing toward.
Yeah. Paxton Lynch. I forgot about him.
Savior.
He didn't ever play.
No, he played.
Oh, he played.
I thought he only played for a very short amount of time.
Oh,
though.
Yeah. Denver Broncos, he got a year and a half. No, they don't.
He was around the Osweiler time, right?
Brock Osweiler.
Same person.
Another one.
Sam Darnold's the only one out of those that have been like maybe. Because he could run a little bit and showed some moxie at USC.
Yeah.
But the rest of that list is absurd.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking for that guy, the guy.
They're forcing it sometimes.
And they'll force it to try to make it the guy.
So buy me some time if I'm a GM. Let me get a new quarterback. Got 4 years.
You don't have 4. Not no more. That's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, Russell Wilson shipped out of town. That was an inflammatory interview.
Which one? The one you said that he wants to be back in Denver?
No, well, I guess, but it was with Brandon Marshall. And this is.
He said he wanted to write. He's just saying everything he can say so that he looks better.
He says he's going to win 2 in the next 5 years, too. So.
Or God told him that.
God did?
Yeah. After he threw that interception against the Patriots, he's like, God wanted me to throw that interception.
Did you make that up?
No.
Maybe he did.
Maybe so.
Maybe
Long
he did.
road back.
Well, that's a lot of money that the Broncos.
Well, Walmart's got a lot of money, so. So I
That's
think
true.
they can pay it if anybody. Can pay it.
I was reading an article. Matthew Berry, fantasy football guy for NBC now, not ESPN.
Scriptwriter also.
Came out 2 years ago. Whenever they traded, when Denver traded for Russell Wilson, and Sean got the job, he came out in an article and he reposted the article. Obviously, like if I was him, I would have reposted it too, saying that he is hearing behind the scenes that Russell's got 1 year. If he goes, Sean does not like Russell, and if he does not pan out after 1 year, it's too much of a cap hit to get rid of him that first year. After that first year with Sean, they'll be okay eating that dead money. And he says he was wearing Drew Brees out. Is what
Russell was or Sean was?
Russell was. Sean said that like as a joke, but people close to Sean said, not a joke. Like, Russell Wilson is wearing Drew Brees out.
Like blowing him up?
Yep.
Try to get how did you make him like you?
And then
I didn't have a team.
1 year.
I didn't have team 3.
Actually, he didn't make it a full year. He didn't make it a full year.
He did.
He was right. That's credit to Matthew Berry. He got the sources. Good sauces. Because it was 1 year. Out. See ya.
They tried to extort him.
Where's he going to go, you think?
They have the 12th overall pick, I believe, and obviously Sean Payton is still chasing this Patrick Mahomes high that he almost had him. I think he would try to make a move to get him at
Can you
1.
imagine if you got him?
Oh, he'd still be here.
He'd be the Chiefs.
Whom? Oh, the Saints
Saints
would?
would be the
Absolutely. Chiefs. You wouldn't be in this dumpster fire they're in right now.
Mm-hmm.
Derek Carr, $150 million. Who else is going to pay him? I don't know.
Bobby Fischer. Where is he? I don't know.
That's what the Saints said. Like, give Derek Carr $150 million guaranteed. The next.
It's not guaranteed.
Yeah, they just moved his contract to give him more guaranteed money.
Yeah, but it's not $150 million guaranteed.
It's at like 97.
That's $53 million less than 150.
I feel like you're gonna get all that money.
Yeah, it's tough. They're in a tough spot. It's not football season though.
It's not.
What else you want to talk about?
I do have a question for baseball.
Do it.
Do you think there's any world in which, after this long road trip, that you kind of lay an egg against Southeastern?
Do I think there's a world? Yeah, of course. Do I think they're going to? No.
Oh, and who pitches? Because I think that the freshman that you saw...
He's pitching.
He's going to throw again?
Why wouldn't he? It's playing tomorrow is Wednesday.
Yeah.
He's pitching.
Why wouldn't he?
That's a week rest, normal rest.
That I understand, but I'm wondering if they start moving him towards a weekend rotation.
Well, not
I think you continue to lengthen him out right there, and then maybe as time kind of goes. But I would imagine because of what you got out of Gage's jump in a start on Saturday, I think also kind of pushes him. I won't say pushes him, but keeps him in that spot and kind of keeps that going. Because if they can keep extending that guy, okay, we got something here.
Yeah, I think what you saw from the rotation this weekend, I think there's no reason to move it around anymore for right now. I think that Friday, Saturday, you have righty, lefty, righty, and you're right.
Anderson's another lefty.
No, I know, I understand that, but you
have just so many dudes where you can mix and match without the pin. There's no need to push another lefty into the line. I mean, into the
right now because nobody's thrown bad enough to leave the rotation.
Right.
Holman's All-American style, like he's throwing.
I don't think he'll be a starter. I was just wondering if he's going to be one of these long relievers, like a Nate Ackenhausen.
No.
You got Donovan Herring, Sam.
If it comes to that, you can go ahead and just pencil that in for like the back third of the season when they start needing him in there and you start getting rid of the SEC games. But I think they'll do their best if they can keep him in this spot because he can get all the work he needs in this spot.
That's the thing. You're going to be able to develop him more in that spot as a starter because I think he is going to be a starter for them at some point, whether it's this year, next year, whenever. But I mean, he looked really good. Now he's going to have his breaking ball is good, but he's going to have to figure it out how to throw more for strikes and how to be able to control it more because I think he threw, how many did you say?
7 or 8.
7 or 8 breaking balls he threw on Wednesday.
Yeah, it was a lot of heaters.
All heaters, which is great. He works fast, throws up, controls it. But once he starts controlling that,
that's even more reason to, hey, all right, let's keep him in that, keep him in the spot.
What was the other question you asked me?
I think that was it.
Oh, I thought you asked another one. Oh, the lay and egg thing. That was the first one.
Well, that was previous too, because I think if you throw Cade Anderson, it's kind of like you get 5 or 6 innings of, okay, this guy's not your normal Wednesday night guy. And for Southeastern, I feel like everybody is, and I wanted to ask Bear this, but it feels like they're kind of almost disrespected to a point where they don't believe that the same LSU that got off the bus in 2023 is getting off the bus in 2024 because you can look at the names. You're like, oh, they don't have schemes, they don't have crews, but this is a totally different way to kill you.
It's not going to be the same. It's just going to – now, being the same doesn't mean that you're
dead, you're dead.
Not good. It's just going to look a little different, but you're going to be really good. You know what I mean? You're going to be able to win games, do things that you may want that you did last year, just in a different style.
Yeah, their method to the madness this year is a little bit different, but it's just as effective if it's rolling the entire way. And I think kind of people are kind of seeing that a little bit from the outside looking in, right? If you're sitting here looking at it, you're like, well, who's the guys? All right, we know a couple of these names from last year, but then there's so many other guys mixed in. But, oh, wow, they're all doing pretty well. And then you look at the mound and you're like, boy, they got arms for days over there. Okay, so it's not the same team. But this is a very, very, very dangerous team, just as they were last year as well.
Yeah. But, look, midweek games are always tough. Southeastern's coming off a big win against ECU. I
would honestly imagine, like, they're obviously never going to say that. And a lot of teams, especially in-state schools and teams that they're going to play in the midweek, they're going to throw all the eggs in the basket to be able to win that game. But I would imagine this year more than any, well, this is the year you don't really want it. Because they got arms for days, bro. If they can throw a Cade Anderson at you, if they can throw all of these guys out of the pen that they can throw at you because they're all going to be fresh and ready to go again by Friday, if they could do that, man, it's going to be tougher for us that we don't have to basically get the bottom of the barrel on a midweek game, we don't get to feast on something, we're going to have to actually face another quality arm. So it becomes tougher task for those teams in the midweek games to face this LSU team.
I know it's early, but have y'all seen an LSU pitching staff this deep?
No, we've said that.
I've never seen it. I've never seen it.
I've
Well,
never
now
seen
it's
a-
coming to fruition.
I've never,
It's-
no,
it's
I've
quite
never
consistent.
seen a college pitching staff this deep, not an LSU pitching staff. And that's what I meant. That's when I asked the question. It was, it's one thing to be able to be like, hey, man, we got this one dude, bro. We know he's down there. He don't have great stuff, but if he's on and he can hit spots, he's deadly. They got like 9, 10 dudes who the stuff is crazy, and if they're anywhere competitive, it's almost lights out in a college game, right? Like that's not normal. You usually see 3 or 4 guys, and the rest of the guys that kind of compete and maybe more grit than stuff. You've seen a lot of guys with a ton of stuff, and you just hope the grit can match the stuff because then you got something that's crazy.
So I think that the only way I can't really compare because I'm with you. I think this is the most depth that they've had. LSU's for sure, like top to bottom talent. This reminds me of like Vandy, right? Like the middle 2010s of Vandy. Whenever they're putting out their midweek guy was a first rounder, ended up being a first rounder. And I still don't think they had the depth in the bullpen that LSU has. But that's the only thing I can, like, from when I played, when I saw it, the only thing I can compare it to. Because, like, Vandy, my junior year, Vandy had my junior year, Vandy had 3 first rounders in their rotation.
In that same year?
Yeah. So they had Sonny Gray was their Friday night guy. They had
David Price?
No, I forgot who their Saturday guy, but their Sunday guy was Grayson Garvin, who actually was SC Pitcher of the Year that year. He was like 58th overall, supplemental first round. And I forgot who their other one was, but they had 3 guys that got drafted in the first round that year.
But who was the other studs or other guys?
I forget. They had some young guys that were throwing on like the midweek games or out the bullpen that ended up being first rounders or top 4 round guys. Right. So I'm not saying they don't compare it to the depth, but that's like from experience. The only teams I've played it's like, oh, okay,
right.
There's no break.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Well, I mean, I think that's something you see in the SEC a lot. I won't say a lot, but you're more likely to run into a team who has probably a dominant Friday, a dominant Saturday, a very, very, very serviceable Sunday, and maybe an arm or 2 out the pen that's straight up dominant. Like that's a recipe we've seen before. I think this one's got a chance to do a lot more than that. And from the stuff standpoint of it by itself, you don't see this every year. You definitely don't see this from team to team.
They had, I'll take that back. It was 2 first rounders, a second rounder, and they had Jack Armstrong. So they had
4 guys.
4 guys.
That's my point. Like it's this many guys with this much with this kind of stuff. It's a problem. It's tough for a team or teams to actually face that at this level every time you run up against LSU right now.
Yeah, just for perspective, the college baseball team strikeout totals are Arkansas Razorbacks with 163, and they had that ungodly performance where he struck out, 15 and
17 of 18.
Yeah, 17 of 18.
Well, LSU had 20 the other night.
Yeah, that gets you back to kind of even.
Yeah.
LSU baseball at 154. Hail State at 144, which is obviously Mississippi State. This is just their Twitter handles. And then FSU baseball, Florida State at 140. So
those are the top 4 teams in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that was the one thing we talked about, right? And I think people are going to really start, like the national media and like the people who cover college baseball, you're going to start to hear them talk more about the depth of LSU. Yeah. I think they know how good it could be, but they're just not real sure. Yeah. I think you're going to start hearing more of that conversation because they talk about, the best rotations in the SEC or best pitching staffs in the SEC. Arkansas, LSU is not really mentioned in the top.
Because you don't have as well as Holman's done, the Arkansas pitcher is grabbing so many headlines with his performance that it's easy to put one.
Right. Yeah. I also think too, I would make the argument for the LSU side of things that because they have so many guys, because Jay's doing so much to work all of them in, you may not be seeing them at the top of their game. Like Holman's come out the gate like crazy, right? But as far as for these guys, as far as for these guys that are coming out of the pen, meaning like they're not going to go out there for extended innings and they're maybe not going to pitch as regularly as a starter would. You may not be seeing those guys rolling yet. I think it may be a while until those guys get rolling and they get a chance to kind of get a feel for what they're doing throughout the year. Starters are different, right? Starters, they know when they're pitching. They're pretty much going to pitch until a scheduled spot of where they are, and that's how it is. The bullpen doesn't get that. So for these guys to kind of keep going, I think the best is yet to come in front of them.
Yeah, no doubt. It's going to be fun. I'm going. Are y'all going to go to the games this weekend? You're laughing because you're not going.
Well, we got some other some work things.
Do you? For me?
Mm-hmm. Today.
Yeah, but like, you still can like go to the game.
Okay, that's good to know.
I mean, it doesn't mean we're gonna like. I mean, it's more of scoping something out. Now, if we figure out that there's more work to be done after we scope it out, then we can go Friday though. Friday's a night game, right? I think this is a night game.
Let's see if they started the night game patrol. It is Xavier. Let me pull up the schedule real quick. 6:30.
Okay, there you go.
5 o'clock on Saturday, and then Sunday matinee at 12. So you get your first Under the Lights in Alex Box. Alex Box? Alex Box.
Alex Box.
Some people say Alec.
I know. Bill Franco sends Alex Box.
So it must be must be right.
Maybe.
Definitely. It's
If Bill said it's in the dictionary, so that's right.
It's named after a World War II pilot, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Alec Box.
What?
I think we just have to officially make the switch.
I guess so. Alec Box.
Alec Box.
All right, let's get to the seggies. What's your mistake of the day? Which is brought to you by our friends at
Doe's Eat Place.
There you go. We owe Doe's a visit soon.
We do.
Next week, probably.
Next week, probably. Things you love to hear. Since I burned my other mistake of the day, this one I liked even more because I don't know how you'll feel about Dak Prescott. But he continues to make mistakes in the offseason, whether it be getting anesthesia to get a tattoo of Looney Tunes characters or this, where the most abominable type of facial hair maybe in the world is the goatee, and he's thrown it all the way back to Mississippi State. Where
You don't like the goatee?
And it's so horrid, where I don't understand why people do it. It looks like it's just a Lego piece that you stick on your face. He's thrown it back to his Mississippi State days of where he got beat up by a bunch of fraternity freshmen on a bachelor. Oh, no, it was a spring break.
The jawline looks good right there, though.
Sure. Maybe don't cover it up. Maybe the chin looks good, too. Who knows? You'll never find out because he's got the goatee, so he's throwing it back to his Mississippi State days where he wanted to come to LSU, but Les Miles offered to be a tight end. And now this is the look you're getting for your Dallas Cowboys starting quarterback.
Well, to each their own.
You think you got this cut at home?
I was about to say, that doesn't seem, unless that's like a
just moved?
TV room, weight room. Looks like there's weights back there.
Kind of a TV.
Looks like a home.
A little speaker on the ground.
Yeah, it looks like maybe he's moving or about to move in.
Looks like he looks like he got nicked, too.
What? Jesus, dude.
Is that not a little blood?
I mean,
oh, no, that's his neck. That's his neck. All right.
The amount of studying you do.
Yeah, you're doing too much there.
It's a little much.
Great jawline, though.
Great jawline. Curtain Call is brought to you by our friends at Assured Partners.
And
me. What we got today, boys?
I'm going to give it low-hanging fruit, dog, just because everybody's been chasing it for so long. Xavier Worthy. It's impressive, bro.
4.2.
4.21.
Oh.
Almost hitting the sub 4.2. That's crazy. That's wild.
Wild.
I see your Xavier Worthy, and I raised you 2 LSU commits that were running track at the 100-meter dash, Jelani Watkins and Caden Durham.
Yeah.
And look at the burners on the 2 LSU commits that are already signed, and this is impressive. 10.22 on the 100-meter dash from a high school senior as they get this thing going. It is.
So see that white guy right there?
No chance.
That was me in my track meet when I had to run against the 2 running backs I went to.
Look, he's keeping pace.
Yep, and then that's what happens.
Watch the
And
afterburners come on from Jelani. There he goes.
Jesus.
Well, that's not even a race anymore.
Because he was 200 would have been. I would have seen him keep going because he was just getting going. Do that again. Start over.
I covered track, and this is about as big of a lead as you can get. And this is against Caden Durham, who was
second.
Took him a while to get out there,
Yep,
but once he
and
did,
look at him go.
And he is absolutely gone.
Wow.
He's going to play wide receiver for your LSU Tigers coming in as a freshman.
Yeah, running back right behind him, too.
Yeah, you're running back.
Mhm.
And he absolutely looks it. A little stocky for being out there with the track folk.
Yeah, I had to do that with Brandon Bolden.
Oh, yeah.
And Eddie Lacy before Eddie Lacy got fat.
Which one, Hamburger Lacy? Or?
No, China food Eddie Lacy.
Yeah, this was high school Eddie Lacy, and it was them two and me. And I'm like, damn, like both
That's
of y'all,
important now.
It's like both of y'all are taking up the entire lane, and I'm in between both of you. Not great.
Excuse me, fellas. How y'all doing?
Yeah.
Let me squeeze
in here.
Where y'all go to school? Y'all go to school at?
Oh, that's not good. Yeah. And then Northside's whole secondary won the 4x1, set the state record for the 4x100. And I was sophomore, and I was running around the right side.
You got a lap in?
I was running around the right side, and I had beat him. I'd gotten around the corner, and I'm like, oh, my God, I'm about to score an 80-yard touchdown. I'm going. All of a sudden, I'm going. I am no longer going. I'm going backwards. The other cornerback sucked me up from the other side of the field from like
slingshot
and
engage.
then he calmed me down, and I'm like, damn, because I was fast. Like, how did? And my
Four
offensive
fast.
coordinator was Tim Leger, who's now the offensive coordinator at UL. Was like, hey, don't feel bad. That's a 4x100 state record or state champs. I was like, okay, I don't feel as bad.
That walking your boy over here.
Walked me down, coach.
Tracks it long.
I felt good about it. Not good about it. Was not good. Not good.
That's tough.
I was like, damn.
My only track story, didn't run it, obviously. These little legs weren't going too fast. We played the LSU track team in flag football. They weren't supposed to be out there. And once they decided to go full track team and put the anchor of the 4x100 national championship team at quarterback, it was 14-7 at half. We were in the lead. Then it was curtains.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have rushed.
We also we were on the 4x100 4x2. And
That's
so
a long way to go.
We were going, and we handed it, and one of our third leg was he had gotten hurt, and so we had to replace him with our alternate.
Stop.
I know. We had to replace him with an alternate, and he stepped on our anchor's shoe.
Oh.
And he stepped on it, and our anchor got so mad he threw the baton at him, hit him in the back.
In the middle of the meet?
Yeah, he couldn't go because his shoe was out, and he got to the lane. And he threw the baton at him, hit him in the back.
Oh, that's
It's a red
terrible.
string.
It was so funny.
That's terrible.
It was so funny.
You said pull him by the string on the back.
All right, my current call. It is March 4th today, and my current call is to. You should know this, Lloyd, because your birthday is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
My birthday. This is my sister's, my twin sisters.
Yes.
It's their birthday today.
Oh.
So that is my
Not nearly
current
the
call.
pickup line I thought it would be.
Which one? I'm kidding.
Hey.
Here it is. Happy birthday to my
Happy birthday.
twin sisters, both of them.
Yes.
Younger sisters. And yeah, that's my current call.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Yours is
Happy
tomorrow?
birthday.
Yes.
You know who else shares a birthday with my sisters? Nick Castellanos.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah. He posted it today. I forgot that he shared it.
And there's a deep drive to left.
There's a deep drive to left.
I don't know if I'll be wearing this headset again.
All right. That's all we got for you today. Bad news for the rest of the week.
Again?
Well, what in the rest? We had Friday show last week. This is out of my control. My other job, these guys, shared partners. I have to travel to our meetings, regional
Where
meetings.
is it?
Tampa.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll be in Tampa.
Unfortunate trip, huh?
Yeah, weather's starting to turn.
We got meetings, Coach. We got meetings. I got to sit on a panel. Think about that. Talk about insurance. Actually, not really insurance. Talking about, insurance. Talking about insurance. Shows you.
Oh, so it's a burden.
They have confidence.
You'd
they have
rather be
confidence in
here.
me. I'd rather be here with my friends, talking baseball and sports and having a good time.
I believe you.
I am serious. So I got that. So we won't be here the rest of the week, but we'll still be pushing out content all week with all the interviews that we had today. Obviously, we had enough. Good thing we had a good Monday. So we'll be putting out clips for the rest of the week. We will be back.
Who knows?
Next week, next Monday.
Stay tuned.
We also may have a different look of the show next week.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Listen, there's a lot of moving parts.
Perfect time to leave.
Listen, this was not on me. Like, there's a lot of things that got thrown at me at the wrong time. And look, we are figuring it out. What are we? Who are we? We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We're going to figure it out.
Of mice and men.
Of mice and men. Grumpy old men. We will be live next Monday from our normal time, 6, 8 p.m. We will not be live the rest of the week. I apologize. What?
I might be out Monday.
Oh, my God. Here we go. Why?
What's the matter to you?
It matters to me. Because we need to have the show.
I got a panel I have to be on.
Yeah, my ass.
I think I should be back Monday. I'll let you know. I'm going to Dallas. I got a big golf match.
Yeah, let me know. I'll fly you back.
That would be awesome.
If I have to, I'll fly you back. All right.
Supposed to get a raise from last Friday. Still waiting for that. Another thing you said on the show.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
What did I say?
That. Like, if you come back, I'll give you a raise. And I battled through heaven and earth to get back.
Well, my raise will be the flight.
That would be perfect.
There you go.
Maybe I'll hit up JP.
No, then he has to come back. Then you got to pay for the fuel. It's more expensive.
Yeah, you're supposed to pay for that too.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Just building up the ledger.
Well, I'm about to cut some of it off with this flight back. All right, we'll be back live on Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. Please enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the game on Wednesday. We'll have some obviously live tweeting and stuff. The phones work, Twitter fingers work. So Jack will have a lot of updates. We'll have
midterms.
Obviously, huh?
He's got midterms.
He does have midterms. Maybe you'll be doing it.
I can do that. It'll be a different feel.
Yeah. We will be pushing out content, but we'll be live. We appreciate you. We love you. We appreciate the support. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you can't watch us and you want to listen to us or anywhere you get your pods. We appreciate the G team for bringing in all their athletes and for their support of our beautiful show. And we will see you next week. We love you. Peace.
Maybe.